Cyber Innovations in the Private Sector highlights case studies and the latest industry trends from private vendors. Explore innovative solutions, success stories, and exclusive insights from industry leaders. Stay ahead with the cutting-edge developments driving the industry forward.
My name is Aleksandar. I'm Global Chief Information Security Officer of Global Fashion Group. I'm serving this role now for almost 3 years. I have more than 20 plus years of experience in cybersecurity. I would say cybersecurity is not only a profession, it's a passion. I'm living on a daily basis, being responsible for overall information security in my company and previously in other company. It's being an honor.
So Aleksandar, you describe your cybersecurity approach as holistic. What does that look like in a practice at your global organization?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people still see cybersecurity in silos, either as a purely technical function or a compliance exercise. But in today's landscape, this is no longer enough. And what I meant by holistic is a holistic approach is about seeing the full picture around how people, processes, technology, and governance all fit together. And its core, it's with risk management, not as a one-time task, but as a continuous process of identifying and addressing risks in a way that aligns with business objectives and business goals. Compliance is thus also very important, but we treat it as a starting point, not as a finish line. So it means that we are building on that. We focus on staying ahead of regulatory changes and building flexible frameworks that works across different regions. People are, I would say, critical to that success. I'm speaking here about employees, contractors, partners, which play really a very important role. And we invest in awareness, accountability, and building a strong security culture. Strong processes are also very important to support growth and reduce friction. And of course, the technology. But it's not only about the tools, it's about smart integration, automation, and making sure security helps the business to move faster, not slower. I mean, at the GFG, this means building resilience across these different fields, I mean, people, process, and technology, and ensuring that the cybersecurity is deeply embedded into our business model, not just being aftermath.
You've developed cyber crisis management protocols. Can you walk us through a recent real-world application, if you have, and what you learned from that experience?
Yes, of course. Building on what I said just about the holistic approach to cybersecurity, developing a cyber crisis management protocol is one of the most critical outcomes. That protocol requires to be practical, to be regularly tested, and continuously improved. How we are doing this, we are having tabletop exercises, simulations, world scenarios. I can say that across my career, the difference between having and not having a tested crisis protocol, it's really huge. Organization without any often underestimate how relatively small incident can quickly escalate, affecting not only IT, but operation, customer trust, even border level confidence. The result is longer resolution times, disorganized communication, and major disruptions to the business continuity I mentioned above. On the other hand, the companies that prepare before something goes wrong with clearly defined roles, decision-making structures, and tested communication, manage those incidents in a more coordinated, efficient, and confident way. They can reduce response times, protect brand trust, and of course recover much faster.
You've championed DevSecOps and security by design. How do you balance innovation and speed with the rigorous of strong security architecture?
Yeah, in my organization, probably in many other organizations, innovation and speed are absolutely or definitely critical to any modern businesses. And our job in cybersecurity is to make sure that those are enabled and not being blocked. That means integrating security early, not just during development, but even with the first idea. What we call it in security is shifting security left by embedding security into product thinking and across the entire CI/CD pipeline. We reduce risk upfront and avoid costly rework or disruption which could happen later once we potentially understand there is a misconfiguration vulnerability. It's also about changing the mindset of the people. We invest in educating developers and engineers, not just on threats, but on how those threats could impact their business as well. When they understand that security stops being an afterthought and becomes part of their daily tasks. Ultimately, we also focus on building sustainable developer-friendly processes where security is seen as a partner, not as a gatekeeper.
So, how do you cultivate a strong security culture across diverse and distributed workforces?
We always say security is everyone's responsibility, not only security team, and reducing human risk is no longer optional. It's our business priority as well. So security is seen as a business function. We start with executive support. Our leaders actively promote and participate in security initiatives. We call it tone from the top. And we are setting with that one foundation for the security culture. One of our key programs is a global cybersecurity culture initiative where we assess the baseline and then we targeted trainings and personalized trainings we are doing. We are focusing on a specific groups and doing regular phishing simulations. We don't stop at awareness. We also focus on engagement. I'm talking here about different interactive sessions, gamified campaigns, regional events, and other initiatives we are running. We also invest a lot in security champions because it helps us extend our reach and build trust more quickly across the organization. And we encourage open conversation and people feel safe raising questions and reporting incidents.
In your point of view, Aleksandar, what is the biggest threat organizations are underestimating right now?
Yeah. Right now, I would say it's the growing risk associated with AI, especially when it's misunderstood and unmanaged. I mean, misunderstood from the risk perspective. AI is being really widely adopted for a very good reason, so to boost activity and drive speed and gain competitive edge. But the threat landscape is evolving very, very fast. One area that's especially under-discussed is the use of autonomous AI agents, tools that can take actions on behalf of humans. If those agents are interacting with potentially external inputs that can be manipulated, there is a real risk they could be tricked into performing harmful or unauthorized actions, and it could happen that they are doing this against most critical assets in the organization. Another challenge is the rise of, I would call it shadow IT. We have it shadow IT, but now we have also shadow AI, where non-technical teams experiment with AI tools, and what begins a small test project suddenly becomes a production level service. And if that solution hasn't gone through proper security and development assessment or testing, it can really introduce a lot of vulnerabilities, so very serious vulnerabilities. And finally, I would say we are seeing a growing concern around supply chain attacks, especially now that more vendors are embedding AI into their offerings. Without a mature supplier security program in place, it becomes very difficult to assess and manage those risks. In short, I would say AI offers incredible benefits, but we can't afford to adopt it faster than we secure it. So we need to make sure that while adopting it, we make it also very secure.
How do you frame cybersecurity in financial and strategic terms that resonate with executive leadership?
The key is being able to translate cybersecurity into business language, and it's always a challenge, I would say, nowadays. That means avoiding technical jargon and instead speaking in terms that relate to what leaders care about, like financial loss, operational disruption, reputational damage, and customer trust. To do that well, security professionals need to be strong storytellers as well. It's not enough to present a risk score or vulnerability count. You have to explain what a particular risk means in practical, real-world terms.
What does successful team leadership looks like to you in the high-stakes world of information security?
Cybersecurity isn't an easy job, especially in areas like incident response and day-to-day operations, where pressure is high and the stakes are real. That's why leadership in this space has to go beyond just setting direction. It's about building trust and creating safety, supporting people under pressure. I focus on establishing clarity of expectations, but also on creating an environment where people feel comfortable asking for help, sharing their maybe personal concerns or learning from mistakes. I also try to lead by example, being decisive when needed, but also staying human and approachable. I also believe in connecting on a personal level, so means that it's not only about the business, also about the person and her or their lives. And I will say finally, successful leadership extends beyond the information security team. We also need to collaborate with the different cross-functional partners.
Aleksandar, to finalize, what advice would you give to emerging CISOs navigating both the technical and the human dimensions of cybersecurity?
Yeah, my advice to emerging CISOs is simple. Start with the business, not the controls. Before you even walk through the door, take time to understand how the company makes money, how its customers are, who its customers are, and what its core risk might be. Once you are in the role, you should invest early in the days in building relationships and earning trust. You should meet the board, the executive team, different department heads. I mean, more or less try to meet also operational people. I mean, more or less everyone. Then I would advise to spend time across departments, learn how things work, in practice, not only on paper. How, for example, the supply chain runs, how we are producing the product, how we are shipping the products, and similar. And what are the risks around those potential processes? And all of that insight is what could be used to craft or to build a security strategy that's aligned with business needs, not only a compliance checklist. Because in the end, CISOs are not there to protect the business. They're also there to enable it. Yeah.
Aleksandar, I will have to thank you very much for being here with us today. It's a really insightful conversation, and we enjoyed really much to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me, and it was my pleasure to be part of this conversation.